Jon Jones.
Oh yeah. That old one, living his best life, mate, isn't he, in Thailand? So everybody reaches a sell-by date, don't they? Everybody's got a time limit. He's reached it, and we move on.
I reckon anyone else in that position would have been stripped. I was talking to Adam Cattell about it the other week.
Yeah, seen it.
He should be stripped now.
It obviously was a bit annoying at the time, but it's all in the past now. We're moving forward. Everything's good. We can get fighting again, and I just want to get fighting, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Must be fucking sick of getting asked about that. You know,
it's not the best. You know what? It's better now because I do know what's going on a little bit, and I am going to fight soon, so that's nice. But for like the last kind of 6 months, I've just not known what's going on. Do you know what the worst bit is? Is like, you know this yourself. It's like money, fame, titles, rankings, all that aside, I just love fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
I just like fighting people. That's what I got into it for. I didn't get into it for anything else. All the other stuff is just like nice to have on top. I want to be the best fighter I can be. I love it. I'm in the gym every day. I just want to fight. That's been taken away from me for like nearly a year now, and that's got nothing to do with me, which is, it's a bit frustrating, to be honest, but we are nearly over it now, which is good.
The fact he's not stepping up and fighting yet, he's let the whole MMA fan base down.
I couldn't have somebody else saying that they're going to beat me and not at least fight them. And then if I lose, I lose. At least I tried my best.
And it's even more in that case when you're the reigning heavyweight champion of the world and you've got someone holding.
It is crazy.
Heavyweight champion.
It is a crazy situation, but there's a lot of politics in there in the UFC at the top levels, and it's just like out of my hands, so there's nothing I can really.
It's not just online fans voicing their frustration. Fighters, analysts, and even former champions are starting to agree. Aspinall shouldn't have to put his career on pause just because. Jon Jones won't commit to a matchup.
When you're an interim champion, they only make an interim champion when the champion cannot defend the belt. So for Jon Jones, he couldn't defend the belt because he tore his pec muscle. So the interim champion means he should be fighting the champion right off the bat. That's not the case with Jon Jones, right? Because Jon Jones is going to fight Stipe Miocic. So the interim champion is supposed to sit there and wait. But by law, in like the regulations, once Jon Jones steps in the cage, he is stripped of his interim champion because the champion has returned. There is no longer for an interim champion. What is the point of having an interim champion when the champion is ready to fight?
This is the only sport in the world you can have somebody hold your career back.
Yep. I've been almost a year inactive with no prospects of anything. Just be ready, and we'll just let you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of difficult, like mentally, to.
Oh yeah.
This is the fight against Jon Jones. Like, not the fight is another thing.
Yeah.
This is the tricky bit where I really have to stay switched on, stay motivated, and I'm trying my best. I'm trying. It's tough. As you said a minute ago, no one really knows what's going on behind the scenes apart from me.
Exactly. You're in the office cooking.
I train all the time anyway. Just because I'm not going to fight doesn't mean I don't train. Like, I honestly can see Jon's point of view. I get it. I get it. It's just about the title for me. I just want the title, that's it. There's nothing else really matters. So
you're like, let me do my thing, let me fight.
I just want to fight.
And I think that's the respectful way to go about it. It's like, you don't care if it's Jon, and it's no disrespect to Jon, it's no disrespect to anybody out there. You're just trying to fight. I just want to fight.
People are now openly questioning the inconsistent treatment, the delays, and what many view as blatant disregard for the heavyweight division. Tom didn't just win an interim title, he rescued a pay-per-view. Stepped in at the last minute, finished a top-ranked opponent in under 2 minutes.
UFC is about one guy being the champion of each division. I defended the interim once already. It's almost unheard of that. It's unprecedented. I thought it was silly the first time, to be honest. The reason that I did it, the first time I fought Curtis Blades, it went down as a loss. I got injured. The worst moment of my career, one of the worst moments of my life. I wanted to redeem myself and get the legit victory against Curtis Blades because it was unfinished business. Like, that was hurting my ego, and I wanted to prove that I was better than Blades, which I did in the rematch, and I defended the interim. Something else, that particular fight was in Manchester, in my hometown. I wanted to fight in my hometown. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do that again in front of a sold out, brand new Co-op Live arena in Manchester, England. I don't know if I'm ever going to have the opportunity to do that again. So for them two reasons, that's why I defended the interim. I'm not doing it again. Like, I've cleared out the rest of the division, undisputed, and that's it. I deserve a shot at being known as the best heavyweight walking around on planet Earth. It doesn't matter on the opponent, undisputed then.
3 since then. He's kept his head down, stayed disciplined, and made it clear. He's ready to unify the titles. Meanwhile, Jones keeps evading the matchup, hinting at retirement, and dropping vague tweets about Francis Ngannou instead of locking in a real fight.
and that he's ducking Tom Aspinall and stuff like that. He said, I spoke to the UFC a long time ago about what my future plans are. I haven't really worked out since my last fight in New York City. Honestly, I believe it's in the UFC's best interest to keep presenting me as the company's champion, not Tom. And then he goes on to say, I've just been playing the role of the company man by doing nothing at all and holding all the position. And truthfully, it's been incredibly lucrative. I've made more money off of Tom being the interim champ than Tom has himself. It sucks to see the rest of the division get slowed down like this, but that has nothing to do with me. I don't pull the strings. Well, it does have everything to do with you, Jon. You are the champion and you're the guy that should fight, that should defend or vacate.
This has led people to ask the obvious. Why hasn't? The UFC stepped in. The longer this drags out, the more it looks like the organization is protecting Jon instead of demanding accountability. Yes, Jon is a legend, but legends also defend their belts. When months go by with no fight signed and no clear answers, something's clearly off.
Because he's making them all look like idiots, by the way, with them having to support a guy who's literally behaving like a coward as a heavyweight world champion. And it's just so detrimental to the UFC. You look at boxing right now. Boxing's never been stronger, up and down the divisions. But the heavyweight division is flying. And it's because it's being led by a great champion in Alexander Usyk, who is taking on all comers. And by the way, it's not enough to just beat his best contenders once. He meets them twice just to make damn sure that there's not a thing anyone can say about it. That's a real champion. Jon Jones isn't fit to even be spoken about in the same fucking sentence as Alexander Usyk. Not the level of fighter he is, not the level of man he is, right? He doesn't even fucking belong in that fucking category. The way he's carrying himself now as a champion, it is without doubt the most embarrassing way I've ever seen a champion conduct themselves in a title reign. And I interviewed Tom Aspinall in 2023 about this.
Jon Jones has had one fight at heavyweight against Cyril Gane, let's be honest, didn't fucking want to be there. One fight in 3 years, so he's had one fight at heavyweight. Stipe has had one fight in 4 years and he got knocked out.
How can that possibly represent the best fighting the best?
Couldn't agree more, mate, honestly.
It blows my mind. Yeah. That was over a year and a half ago. And look, the clues were always there that Jon Jones was never, not even if you put a fucking gun to his head, gonna take that fight.
Dana White has publicly backed Jones' butt behind the scenes. He seems in the dark. And if the UFC president can't explain what's going on, how can the rest of the heavyweight division feel anything but stuck?
It's a conversation we've had many times now, the Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones fight. It's a bit different now, right? Because Jon's been tweeting a lot about the fact that he's told you his plans, he's ready to vacate the belt, and all the rest of it.
He said he's ready to vacate the belt?
He said he doesn't care if you strip him, he would vacate it.
Crazy. Yeah, I've been busy. I haven't been keeping up with the gossip. He comes back. He's either back today or came back yesterday or whenever he's in Thailand. So he's home. We'll be home tonight, Tuesday. We'll figure this out.
But if he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall and he does walk away, do you think he's ducked him?
Tom Aspinall's the guy. He's the guy. Listen, if the guy wants to retire and doesn't want to fight, nothing you do. I didn't want Habib to retire. I thought DC should have stayed in it longer. So it's none of my business. I'll do what I can to make the fight if we can. If he's talking that crazy, I didn't realize that.
It was kind of crazy how much interest Jon showed in the Francis Ngannou fight. Like there was some tweets going back and forth. What would happen if he came to you and says like, I'll fight, but I won't fight Aspinall, I would fight Ngannou? Would you even be interested in that or no?
I don't have Ngannou on their contract, and Aspinall's the guy.
Right. If you were put in the position, would you maybe try to get Ngannou back in their contract or no?
Probably not.
Clarify, you said that Jon agreed to fight Tom, yes?
Jon agreed to fight Tom?
Is that what you just said there? Before, like on the last answer, you said...
Jon agreed to fight Tom, yes.
So he has to sign the contract.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you guys have heard me for the last however long. I said, I guarantee you this fight's going to happen. This fight's going to happen. Fight's going to happen. You guys told me the crazy shit that was going on Instagram and all these other places. But yes, I've been saying Jon is going to fight Tom.
There were some rumors out there that you guys had offered him his money and he turned it
unless you hear it come from here, or we put out a press release. Don't believe any of this bullshit. But yes, Jon agreed to fight Tom. Fact.
This isn't just about Tom, it's affecting every contender waiting in limbo. They're all stuck. While Jon decides whether he's in or out. And with Tom entering his prime years, time is becoming a serious factor. The worst part? No one even knows what Jon really wants anymore.
If I'm being completely honest, I feel like Tom's been such an asshole that I don't want to do business with him. You know, it's just like his fans have been so annoying. And obviously you don't get this far in a career being affected by fans or whatnot, but he's just an asshole, you know, with his, you know, he's 30, so he's from this influencer generation where you hop online and the t-shirt sales and all that. I'm past that type of stuff. I'm like, bro, if you had a little bit more respect, then maybe we could have worked something out, you know, but I just don't even want to do business with him. You know, at the end of the day, this is a business, and fighting me gives him an opportunity to change his life forever. And I don't even want to give him the opportunity. Like he just played his cards wrong with me personally. And you know, I'm 3 years from being a 40-year-old grown man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, the press conference, going through the whole shebang with him, I'd rather not do. Pereira on the other side, respectful, cool, barely says much. It's like, I'll do business with you. I would risk it all with a human being like you. You actually have the accolades to back up your shit. This other guy is just a big mouth who's hot today. There's been so many guys who's hot today who are just gone. You know, Sergey was in the same position not too long ago. Now he's starting to fall off already. I've just been around this sport too long to give a big mouth who's hot today the opportunity.
And one day, he hints at coming back. Next, he makes it sound like none of it matters to him anymore.
I see quite a few people in here calling me a duck. I'm a duck. Call me a duck. Call me a chicken. Call me a goat. Call me a dog. I'm not in high school anymore, guys. A grown man out here chasing his dreams. It's funny that we really live in a world where being called a duck should affect me. Guys, come on.
Says he's enjoying life and that a fight with Tom Aspinall doesn't. Get him motivated.
Got people in the chat calling me a duck. Meanwhile, I'm living my absolute best life. I don't know if it's considered duck when you're living good. I don't think it works like that.
But for the fans and fighters alike, this is the matchup that matters because Tom is the real deal.
He's elite as a heavyweight. A lot of the heavyweights, they're good, they're very strong, they're powerful, but they're not as quick and as agile and as technical as Tom. Tom's the whole package. You know, he's like, there's a fighter called George St. Pierre, who's one of the greatest to ever do it. Tom's like a heavyweight George St. Pierre. He's got no weak areas. He's got absolute knockout power, super disciplined, super agile on the feet. He finishes everyone really, really quickly. However, he hasn't gone up against somebody like Jon Jones because, as I said, the competition in the heavyweight division isn't necessarily there on a technical level. Jon Jones is. And Jon Jones has fought way better competition than Tom. That's just a fact. But Jon's never fought anyone like Tom either. Jon has never fought anyone the size of Tom and that can generate that kind of power. He had two heavyweight fights, one against Cyril Garner. He took him down really quick and he choked him out. And then he went up against Stipe Miocic. He was really good and, you know, he had a good little go. But he was 42 and he hadn't fought for a while and he's getting on. Tom's 31 in the prime of his life. And I would be very surprised, and this sounds disrespectful, but I'd be very surprised if he got out the first round.
He's explosive, highly skilled, and unlike most heavyweights, he brings speed and precision. His timing, footwork, and calm under pressure make him a legitimate threat to anyone holding the title.
Who's next big heavyweight star?
Tom Aspinall, the guy who
of
just
course,
won
just
the
won.
interim title. He's phenomenal. And he is, again, the next advancement of the evolution of the sport.
How so?
Well, because he can do everything. That guy's got elite jiu-jitsu. He's got elite takedowns. His striking is outstanding. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem because he's a heavyweight and he's a big guy, a really big guy, but he moves so fast. And so his speed has always been like extraordinary compared to other heavyweights. Like he just fucking moves in. It's all like fast, explosive movements. So he's got natural speed, but then he's also got a lot of training to execute quickly. So when he moves in, he closes the gap. You can see like he's fast for a big guy.
Right.
I want to see it so bad.
John was shitting all over Aspinall, saying
was.
that
I think that's
lucky,
a bad way to go.
He was lucky that he blew his knee out with Curtis Blades because Curtis was teeing off
Doing
on
well.
him. Unless John avoided him, unless John used his wrestling to avoid exchanges, you know what that's all about.
Correct. It's called the Shop Shutdown.
Shop Shutdown.
I saw a 7-part
They did with
series on
Cyborg.
it. Yes. The Stipe fight, which is just like, it's a weird thing.
Aspinall's an athlete, man. He's such a good athlete.
Freak athlete.
Very fast. Very fast for a heavyweight.
So fast.
Yeah, but we felt the same way about Cyril Gane, though.
Yeah, but
Cyril
Gane
Gane doesn't have wrestling, doesn't have jiu-jitsu. Aspinall's like legit on the ground. Very legit on the ground.
So legit that his dad owned a jiu-jitsu gym. His dad's a black belt. He started doing jiu-jitsu at 2.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Aspinall is past the first round, right? Because we've seen him. He looks so fast. He looks, you're like, nobody moves like him. He looks like a younger Kane.
Right.
But he just keeps knocking these guys out so quick. So I'm like, let me see him past the first round to see if he has that cardio as well.
More and more people believe. Tom isn't just ready for Jon. He's ready to beat him. Tom isn't out there making noise. He's staying focused and training hard.
What's the last 6 months training been then? Where you've been just in limbo? Have you been training to specifically fight Jones or just been training?
No, I've just been... You know what, that's actually one of the positives that's come out of it is when you've got a fight, you're training for a guy, aren't you? Yeah, you're training for one guy. I've just been training to get better, which is great. Do you know what I mean? I've been like improving and that, and I'm someone who's in the gym constantly anyway. Like I'll train twice a day if I've got a fight or not. Obviously the intensity increases if I do have a fight soon.
When I seen you at that UFC London when Molly retired 3 weeks before my fight, lad.
We were on the burgers, weren't we? Me and Charlie.
Yeah, I'm sitting there with a bottle of water and just looking over at you with 2 pints.
And
burgers and them crisscross fries and that, and I'm just like,
yeah, it's great.
I was taking the bit of chicken out of the bowl.
I remember you used to eat the meat.
I was eating the meat out of it because I was starving.
What was your? Because I'm like quite interested in nutrition. That like, what is your diet like
in camp?
Yeah, like, do you have to be on like a massive deficit?
Not massive, but like I am in a deficit every day. As we go through camp, I'll start with like 2,500 calories. Then halfway through, I'll bring it down to like 2,250, and toward the end, I'm on like 2,000. But I'm burning like 3 to 4,000.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. If you're training intense, you're burning shitloads, aren't you?
Stupid. I have no idea the reason why the UFC don't really want Tom to fight anybody else other than Jon Jones. And you know they're saying, stay tuned. That's the message they wanted Tom to give out to people. And we had the meeting with Hunter, and they're going to try and fix the fight with Jon Jones, but we're still in April now, still waiting for this guy to say, I'll have a fight or I'll not have a fight. And I don't really understand that. He's a fighter who should be having fights. Why is he just still sat around not giving an answer as to whether he's going to fight or not? Tom's done all he can do. You know, he's fought in the middle of the night to defend an interim. He fought for an interim because the fight was on for him to do an interim and he couldn't turn it down. And he won that. What else can he do?
Nah, man, Jon's retired. What are we talking about, guys? This is... Jon, you guys don't follow Jon on social media?
I don't follow him on social media. He said that...
No, me too, actually. Me too, but the guy is living his best life. He's had a fantastic career, we all know. We know Jon's a religious man, so I want to say God bless him moving forward in what he does with his life and his career. And, you know, we move on. We move on. I'm the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I'm ready to take on all comers, get this division moving again. Us guys have been waiting around too long. You know, the contenders are getting sick of it. Everybody's getting sick of it. Even the fans are getting sick of this stuff. So Jon's retired and it's time that we move on.
And of course, it's been pretty interesting, all the stuff that Jon Jones has been saying to the media this week. And I'm sure there's more to come, but check out these.
You're beating guys who aren't even champions and you consider yourself a champion. He's not a champion.
So Jon said I need to fight more champions, but this is the problem I've got. Jon is the champion and he won't fight me. And he says that he won't fight me because it's too much of a gamble.
Aspinall to me is no difference than an Owen St. Prude or Dominic Reyes or Anthony Smith. Like just another up and comer that's exciting right now. And I'm not into gambling my legacy for what's exciting.
And Jon, if you're not into gambling your legacy, that to me sounds like you're scared of losing against me.
While Jon posts from Thailand and talks about Francis. Dodging interviews and avoiding real discussions, Tom keeps quiet and lets his preparation speak volumes. And the MMA community? They're speaking now loudly. Whether you're Team Jones or Team Aspinall, one thing is clear. This standoff can't last forever. The title needs to be defended or vacated. The clock is ticking, and the division won't wait.